But today we're going to talk about product data and AI, improving product data workflows, but specifically diving deep on various tools that can help you, but also on a more commerce-focused look than we would normally do. And just to make sure no AIs were heard in the making of this presentation, because we will discuss quite a lot of AI tools and topics. We'll start with recommendations. I always like to start with sort of your key takeaways, and then you can see how that comes back in the presentation. So first of all, AI, generative AI, is already transforming and will transform each step of the product data process. So from the sort of back-end processes of onboarding, enriching, and publication of data, but also the front end. So how does search work? How does discovery work for your customers? And how does personalization work? Second one, integrated AI tooling will never win. You will never be best of breed or best in class with integrated AI tooling. If you have a solution with sort of an integrated AI tool in it, so a standard call to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever model you choose, will never work or never win from the sort of niche models and the specific models. That's because data is the new gold, again, or it always was. There's no moat when it comes to big models, so everyone can use them. It's very simple to use them and implement them. And instead of prompt engineering, we need that, right? Everyone knows what a prompt is, I suppose. Good to check. We need model orchestration, so directors, not engineers. Third one, AI interfaces are coming and they will upend the customer journey. We thought that it would come with voice, right, and Alexa and Siri. It's my belief that that is actually coming with AI and agents. Agents are basically independent tools or independent instances of a generative AI model, browsing the web for you, finding information in your name for you, and they will change the way we discover products, buy products, explore things, and that will be done both sort of on the AI influencer side, so discovering new products on, well, I think what everyone sort of does, scrolling mindlessly across these auto-playing video platforms that we all have, whether that is LinkedIn, which is moving to video, or TikTok, which started this revolution, I think, or by Google Zero, which is search is going to zero. No one is going to search for products, it's agents that are going to search for products. So check if an AI model will find your content. Are you actually visible in all these models? Are you visible in Claude? Are you visible in ChatGPT? Are you visible in Llama? And make sure that your content, your site, your product, your service is ready for agent-to-agent communication, because agents will be browsing and interfacing much more with your product than humans will. So what about me? I am a startup co-founder, mostly in the e-commerce space, started at Westwing, which is a VC-backed home and living catalog / flash sales shop. Started a furniture marketplace then. And I'm interested in beyond the hype. So actual AI tools in practice, right? So not the cool stuff that we see, but actually the real life application of AI tools. So during these presentations, I want to sort of highlight the growing role, show you some cool examples, and also provide actionable insights. So what you already saw, hope that builds up to those actionable insights into the different market trends and how that is going to impact both the back-end processes of product data as well as the front-end processes. And I mean, this is kind of obvious, but what is the importance of AI for PIM and commerce? So there's a huge growth in data, not just the quantity of data, but also the complexity of data that needs to be managed. But that is seen in the number of input sources. So you'll get much more input and from much more sources, more suppliers, different documents, more data pools, as well as output channels, so managing all those marketplaces, managing your internal output channels, like your e-com, your app, your newsletter, your catalog, your offline print catalog. And that needs to be managed and mapped. And I think at this point we are at an inflection point where AI is creating a platform shift, very much like the internet did and smartphones did before. I think this morning in the presentation was already said, like, we need to start thinking AI first. Like maybe 10 years ago, we had to start thinking mobile first. Right? So Jeff Bezos always quoting, like, we are still at day zero, where every day is day zero. We need to convince the customer in the, again, to shop at Amazon. Jeff was also quoted this morning. I believe we're now at day one from an AI perspective. I used to say we're at day zero 6 months ago, where there were very few actual working tools or nice technical demos, but not real integrations and working stuff. We're currently at day one, I would say. So 2 years ago, almost, we had the launch of ChatGPT 3.5, just as a sort of reminder how short this timeline is that we're living in. I think most of us are using AI, at least on a weekly, maybe even a daily basis, generative AI. ChatGPT was launched less than 2 years ago. Most of the companies and AI tools that we see are just wrappers, right? So they are a nice interface, but then behind that is a call to ChatGPT or to a big model. So it's day one. We're not yet at day 10. There's still lots of work to do. And then there are very few tools that are AI-centered. Like this morning, we need to think AI first. That's a process that is now starting at most companies, most solutions. There's lots of work to do where solutions are shifting towards an AI-first model. And I see very few tools that are AI-centered or basically are built in this new world post 22nd of November 2022. So, okay. AI will change and transform each step of that product data process. We'll go through some sort of examples as well. So just as a reminder, generative AI and the product data process, it's onboarding, it's enrichment, and it's publication. And generative AI is very good at transforming data and mapping it to taxonomies, right? So if you ask it to map it to, a list of categories, it's very good at that. It's all very transformer-friendly. That's the technology behind ChatGPT and most large language models. Then enrichment. I think currently we've all seen how good it is at generating B-, B+ content, both in text and images, right? So you see these cool use cases, and probably you've experimented with using AI to generate descriptions. Is always like okay-ish, right? Which is maybe fine for your long tail, but it's maybe not the best for your top 20, top 10% of products being sold. But it's getting there. So already it is good at generating unique B- content. And that is good for both images and text. And then publication, again, data mapping and data transformation, but then to your output channels is again something that generative AI is very good at. So here we have an example of cleansing, data cleansing with a call to ChatGPT. This is just a quick model I built yesterday in a spreadsheet. In this case, it's Google Docs. So it takes a prompt, and basically it's a very generic prompt. You ask it to map those product titles to better output, cleanse the output, and also map it to two categories, so a size category and a sneakers or footwear category. Does this very well, even if you give it shitty data or you provided two numbers, right? So the SL72 OG shoes Adidas, it recognizes that 39 is the size and not 72. We'll get to this again. So enrichment, again, generating the B- content. This is an example of Describe, one of the AI tools we've been following and have been inspired by. It takes an image, so you see the input on the right-hand side, which is just an image. And I didn't give it anything else, just find me the data and write a description for this image. And it finds the brand, it describes the specific product, gives it a B- description, finds the attributes, and even provides extra sort of content sources where you could find additional content if you were so inclined. And this is already it's already able to do this. So usually maybe wholesalers or retailers would get a list of products, product number. I didn't even give it a product number here, right? Just gave it an image, but you get pack shots and you get a product number, and then the scribe is able to generate the whole thing, like generate a description, generate attributes. It didn't find the key technologies, right? So I gave it a template to also find the key technologies. Maybe didn't find those, but it's actually pretty good at doing this. And one of these images is generative. The others are actual shots. So just creating an inspirational image. This is using a free tool. I'm not sure if anyone's able to spot the one that is, who thinks this is the first image? Please raise your hands. Yeah, second image, middle image, and third image. Right one? Yeah, it's the right one. That's the AI generated one. The rest is images from the website itself. You can. I didn't have enough credits to sort of upscale it here, so you can see it in the text. That's how it gives it away. And the cutout wasn't really nice, so there's some strange things happening with lighting, but not bad. This is also very cool. So you generate shots for your fashion store. You do it on a model, but you want to sort of personalize that model towards your target audience. So we have a different market with a different look. So this is an example from Bodica. There's plenty of these tools that exist, but you can basically replace a model with the same stance, and it maps it quite correctly. An example here as well. Yeah, you have a different target market, and you can specify it and personalize it for that target market, maybe even to a person. That will be creepy. See myself wearing clothes on a web shop. Okay. And then publication. Again, it's data cleansing or transformation and mapping. So again, this example, I think it's pretty self-evident. So let's continue. Right, front-end tools. We're also discussing commerce, of course, and this is sort of the first part, right? So getting your data ready in your PIM, but then you publish it towards your e-commerce system, and yeah, Gen AI is having great impacts there as well. So one of those examples is AR search, where based on vector-based search, it is able to personalize the search towards a shirt, in this case, that I was selecting. And it keeps on selecting and specifying shirts that are more lookalike to the one I'm browsing for. Now I'm going to search for something that is not available on the site. So there's no product title with this. There's no cocktail dress on the site because there's no cocktail party. No product has that name, right? So there's no product cocktail party name, but it identifies what type of product I'm looking for. So it finds a cocktail dress. And again, personalizes this on the fly with lookalike products and recommended products. And it even does this based on type of collar, for example. So this, I'm looking for a V type of collar, and it does this adjustments on the fly. So you'll see me going to another collar, where I go to a green, and it automatically adjusts the search results to greener dresses. This is on a second-hand platform shop, so this is all user-generated content. This is no clean content, no sort of clean pack shots. Works with, let's say, B- images, as well as it does with clean pack shots. So what, right? Why is this important? Because even if you just only look at personalization, you get immense uplifts when it comes to click-through rates, right? Yes, you saw me clicking through a lot of products, obviously, but if you provide a customer with better fitting recommendations on the PDP, on the product detail page, clicks are massively impacted, and there's a great uplift. And the same is on similar products, right? So if you find similar products that are search similar to your own search query. So when we look at the product data process, I would say get started or be left behind. It is day one already. It's no longer day zero. And no, generative AI is not going to conquer our world and turn us all into machines or remove us from our existence. But it's not similar to crypto, right? Huge hype around crypto, but I mean, you don't hear much about crypto now. Generative AI, it's 2 years in, and there's actual use cases, right? So actual use cases being implemented right now. You should be generating AI in your core workflows, preferably in an automated setting. So if you're not already integrating even just a call to ChatGPT or to Claude or whatever in your workflows, start experimenting and doing this right away. This is important to just get the learnings in and try to automate that, right? So yes, we can all copy and paste to ChatGPT. I do that every day. But the power is in the automation and using generative AI in an automated setting. And then, well, we're in that platform shift. So the internet shift generated huge companies like, in this case, Amazon, Google. The smartphone revolution created Meta, Facebook, and Uber, something we wouldn't have expected otherwise. Generative AI, yes, you have the tool providers, right? So OpenAI, Claude, Anthropic, those are amazing and big companies, but there's huge creativity being applied to this market, and this is a platform shift, so we will have winners and losers, and we will have lots of value being created. So maybe that's one of you. Then my second key takeaway for today is integrated AI toolings will never win. So that is because you need 4 key components to get the best results when it comes to generative AI. You need a model, right? So you need a base model that you use in your generative AI tools and calls, and picking the right one for each part of the job that you're trying to accomplish is important. Then, so it shouldn't be just a generic call to ChatGPT. The context, so specific documents, the FAQs that you might already have, training material that you use in-house, databases that you have, anything that you can use to support retrieval augmented generation. I apologize for not expanding that, which is sort of the local context that you can use to give better answers. That is one of the other key components you need to get to the best results. I'm not sure if anyone has used context or uploaded documents in ChatGPT already, but it leads to significantly better results. And you can do this on a larger scale as well. And then fine-tuning, specifically if you have very large data sets, all these AI models have limited context windows, where you can't give them the whole, maybe you can't give them the whole data set that you have. You can train them through fine-tuning on a specific type of interaction, like a Q&A type of interaction, or maybe a summary type of interaction, or maybe a chat. Or you can train it on a data set, so it gives better answers based on the fine-tuning on that data set, right? And all these tools now use good interfaces to fine-tune, make fine-tuning a lot easier, but still, fine-tuning is necessary if you have large data sets and you want to get the best answers. Not something you can easily do with a quick call to ChatGPT. And then prompt chains, so combining prompts or engineering of prompts, making sure you get the best instructions on the model, or making sure you get the best combinations of instructions to the model is important to get the best results as well. So you need these 4 key components. And these are not all automatically present in the simple call to ChatGPT, right? So that is important. The thing is, private data is the key element here, and is going to be the moat that will discern the small models and the niche players to get the best results, getting better results than the general models like ChatGPT. So you need private data to get the best results because it impacts 3 of the 4 key components. It improves the model. So creating a custom model is very expensive at this point in time, but you see the cost of training already coming down. Also requires lots of data, but I think it is possible to have your own local trained model if you want in the nearby future. And you need good and lots of data for that. And that can only be done with a local model, not with ChatGPT. You need good context. So good quality and very specific data is I think currently the biggest factor in improving outcomes. So to get that quality outcome through retrieval augmented generation, it's very important to get that private data in, and that can only be done easily with a niche model. And then fine-tuning, again, you need a tailored approach to both the interaction that you're looking for, that you're trying to optimize for. Could be summarizing, could be text generation, could be image generation, and also to get the right interaction, right? So creating a description is a one-shot interaction, right? So you just give it the description and you need the model to generate the best description possible. That is a different type of interaction than having a Q&A conversation with the model. And only with dedicated models, you can get the best type of interaction, the best type of results, because you can fine-tune them for a specific context, for a specific use case. You can give them specific context and specific data for a specific use case, and you can select a model for a specific use case. It's very hard to demo this, but I tried. So in this case, I think the visual models are the best example of this. You have on the right-hand side Stable Diffusion XL, SDXL, using Flux low-rank adaptation training. Forget about that. But it's a trained model specifically for generating text and doing that well. And this is the general DALL-E prompt. And I tried 4 or 5 times to get a good result. This is the best result I could get. To get a photorealistic image of a TEDx speaker with this text behind it. So in this case, a specific model, right, as the XL, Stable Diffusion XL, trained using Flux, trained using low-rank adaptation, works tremendously better than the standard model from DALL-E. Same example for generating a specific use case, in this case, thumbnails for a YouTube video. Again, on the right-hand side, left-hand side for you guys, the Stable Diffusion model, how to cook a roast chicken. Exact same prompt used for DALL-E. This is my 3rd try where I thought like, okay, this is acceptable. Looks totally different, and I would much prefer the sort of trained model and fine-tuned model. Just to give you an example that works for you. So why does it matter? Why do you need to train your own local model, and why I believe that those models will win? And then finally, orchestration, not engineering. We already discussed prompt engineering, right? So creating and crafting that exact same perfect prompt, or maybe a series of prompts to get the best result. And I think that is hugely important. You need to do it. But I think getting to 80% results, it follows the Pareto principle. That is very easy, right? So 80% good results is already achievable. The final sort of prompt engineering will get you that final 20%, but it will never sort of beat all the things that you need the data for. So model fine-tuning and RAG, retrieval augmented generation, you need data for that, and that is the big moat, right? So it's easy to sort of get to that prompt engineering level, and it's very hard to sort of distinguish between prompts and outputs between prompts. The clear mode is in the private data and fine-tuning. And then in the end, orchestration. Yes, we discussed sort of prompts and prompt engineering and using multi-shot prompts, right? So you give it a first prompt and then you use a second prompt to improve your results. You can also do that with models. You input data into one model, there's an output, then you put that into a different model trained specifically for that second interaction that you need. And that is only possible with, at this point, your own models. So again, nothing wrong with ChatGPT. It's great to get started, but you need the custom tools to win. So it is very easy to use ChatGPT, and that is a problem. It's very easy to just copy-paste data into that chat window and interact through that. It's also very easy to integrate it using an API. So all different PIM tools and e-commerce tools have that standard API integration with ChatGPT now. But it's not about that. It's about the custom models that'll help you win. The other thing that'll help you win is private data. So keep that data private. If you have good product descriptions that are working for you now, try to keep them that way. It doesn't work that way because you need to publish them, of course, to sell stuff. But private data is your moat. Your FAQs, your technical data, customer calls from your customers and their interactions there, that is your moat. And just like smooth business operations need a well-tuned and smoothly integrated IT architecture, smooth AI operations need a well-designed and well-orchestrated model combination. All right, then final one. AI interfaces will upend the customer journey. This is a cool one because this was lots of text. But now we'll get to the cool examples. So will we see, this is the question, the end of search, right? So will we get to Google Zero? Doubtful, but when we look at how people are using AI search, it is growing, maybe not rapidly, so it's from 70%, from 14% in May, it is now 17.1%. And still, like 82% of people have used only traditional search. So it's not taking the world by storm. We're not there yet. But still, it's increasing and going up. An interesting thing that you see is that AI agents are being inserted on each platform. And that is happening right as we speak. That is new, and that is something that is happening right now. That is happening on digital platforms that are browsing the web for you and collecting data for you. But it's also happening on hardware platforms. So I'm not sure if anyone knows about the Rabbit R1 and has seen this nice yellow device that has been presented. Not many. I have an example later on. But the last iPhone presentation was all about AI and local agents, local AI models that can do things for you and that can interact with the things that you have on your phone. In my case, that's my life. So can interact with my life. But then also do things for me on the web and make calls maybe in the future, or book meetings, or prepare myself for meetings, or buy stuff for me. And the same is true for Android as well. Like every platform will go towards a local AI agent. The other thing that is changing is video. I think many of you already know that it is driving huge amounts of traffic. So on Instagram, on TikTok, there's a reason LinkedIn is going to video. Probably because it's addictive and keeps us on those platforms, but it also means that it's driving a growing share of product traffic, right? You see a product on Instagram, you click on it, you buy it, instead of searching for it on Google or searching for it on YouTube or Amazon. And when we look at video, AI influencers are going to create a growing share of that video. So product discovery. These are I'm not sure if anyone knows these virtual influencers. These are non-existing people, right? So this is Fit Aitana, AI Tana, which is a non-existing person generated purely through AI, making, in this case, a commercial for Oktoberfest. And Lil Miquela is, I think, the other most famous virtual influencer that we have. Making a commercial for Diesel. And these are fully AI-generated persons, fully AI-generated images. There's nothing real about this except maybe for the fact that, yes, there was a real Oktoberfest, and yes, these products are real, but that's about it. And this will grow. It's already happening because this is from last year. These are TikTok influencers in China. These are real influencers, but then this is not them. These are fine-tuned models and deepfakes based on their movies and interactions. So these are fake. These are not real people. Let's do that again, maybe. So this is fake, which is weird. And we'll get much, much more of this. Another thing, I have to start this manually.
Imagine trying to keep track of thousands of products across multiple stores and websites. Nightmare, right? That's where product information management, or PM, comes in clutch. It's like a super organized digital hub for all your product details. From specs and pricing to images and descriptions, PM keeps everything in one place. no more outdated info or mix-ups between channels. It's a game changer for businesses, making it way easier to update and share accurate product data. Plus, it saves a ton of time and headaches when launching new items or expanding to new markets. If you're drowning in product data chaos, maybe it's time to check out a PIM solution. Companies like PIM vendors can help you get started and take control of your product information.
This is me, but it's not me, right? No, but this is weird. This took a minute of video to create, and then I already had the model because I was experimenting with this before. And then last week, I told it to generate an automated ad for pimvendors.com, and it came up with this. So all that you see is AI generated. The person, the text, the video, the images it uses in the video. I didn't edit a thing, so you see the spelling mistakes, right? So it says PIM somewhere, and it says PM instead of PIM. But this is 1 minute of work, right? So that's strange to me. And then this.
I tried pimvendors.com, so you don't have to. Let's talk about it. Choosing a product information management system can be overwhelming with 250 plus options. Pimvendors.com is your independent guide, offering expert consultations and custom tools to find your perfect PIM fit. Save time, reduce costs, and optimize your product processes with their 20 plus years of experience. Visit pimvendors.com today and simplify your PIM selection journey.
This is again 100% fake and 100% AI. So again, 1 minute of work to create a virtual influencer to recommend PIM vendors based on, I gave it the URL, right? So I had to provide that. And it generated the description and the text automatically. It generated the captions, it generated her. Well, she is, of course, pre-generated, but it made her talk. Yeah, it's a strange world that we're going to live in.
Imagine trying to tackle thousands of products.
All right. Yes, thanks. All right. We know, pimvendors.com. Visit the site. And then AI agent-based discovery. So AI agents are already browsing the web, right? So it's ChatGPT scraping your websites, right? But it's also already using URLs in your chat, right? If you provide a URL, it'll visit the URL and use it in your reply. But there are now sort of independent agents that you can use to browse the web for you. They're also now starting to interact with the web. So pushing buttons, booking flights, buying products. That is happening as we speak. And one of these is the Rabbit R1 LAM, the large action model, sort of a word play on the large language model. And I'm not sure if anyone followed this launch, since a few people saw it. It's a small, let's see in the next slide. It's this small orange device that you hold in your hand. It has a camera, it has a wheel, a scroll wheel, and a small screen and a connection to an AI model. And what it does, or at least what it pretended to do previously, was this large action model, which is basically interact for you. So it would, for example, find and play Spotify for you using a large action model instead of an API model, right? So that's the whole difference between sort of interacting directly with the API versus interacting with something that is actually built for humans, which is the website. And they launched this, I think, 6 months ago. They launched the hardware, and you can buy it for, I think, $200, something like that. You get this. And there was some sort of uproar because it didn't work, at least it didn't work as expected. It was a really small feature set worked only for Spotify and for booking a Uber, and even that was not working really well. They just released an update where you can use it to browse more sites and actually train it to browse your own site.
Now you've seen the progress of how well it understands you. Let's move to that part where it now takes action to that understanding. Let's talk about Lambda Playground. Now, Lambda Playground is going to be launching October 1st, and this will be accessed through Rabbit Hole. What you can actually do there with Lambda Playground is access a more advanced AI that handles conversations much better and is quite in tune, especially when it's helping you search to find and also get things you wanted to do. So I got to try a demo with the CEO of Rabbit, and I was able to ask it a question where he typed it out. I said, look, find me the best mirrorless camera in 2024 and on Reddit, purchase it at Best Buy. And if it's not available at Best Buy, find it somewhere else. I could have stayed at B&H Photo if I wanted to, or somewhere else, but I did that. Now, what you notice is that it starts going through the query steps and starts looking for what it considers the best camera, selects it, goes straight to Best Buy. And what it will do is it will select the camera and it will actually put it into your cart. Now you're going, does it have my account? No, it does not. It doesn't sign into any account. If you already signed in, then it's fine. It basically will just dump it to the cart that's available, but it will basically dump it to a cart and then you can sign in and make the final purchase, which is pretty cool and great.
And this is happening now, and people are now building these sort of large action models to browse the web for you, do things for you. And this is, I mean, it's not a small startup ahead of the curve, but you see iPhones already with these functions being built in and being prepared to do for you. So this is the future, in a sense. I don't know why it doesn't work. So what? Your site needs to be indexable by AI models, right? So to get the best from this future, you need to be able to be used by these AI models. And even better, you need to have your own AI agent to scale the interactions with the different AI agents that are coming your way. So tying it all back. One, AI will transform each step of the product data process, right? So the onboarding, the enriching, and the publication. Two, if you really want to win, you need to have integrated AI tools, not just the ChatGPT wrapper. And three, AI interfaces, be that the product discovery or on your site, will change the way the customer spends time and buys on your site. So to get the best results, the recommendations again, make sure you use the generative AI in all these processes, right? To unlock those efficiencies, both on the back end, but also on the front end. Integrate those specific niche AI models in your products, not just the ChatGPT wrapper. If you don't have it, do it still, because it's better than nothing and it'll give you the experience. And if you can't, start collecting the data or start structuring your data, because that is sort of always still the first step. And then yes, you need prompt engineers, but you actually need to look ahead and start structuring your AI models in a good way. And then third, AI interfaces will upend the customer journey. It will not be humans browsing your website in 2035. It will mostly be agents. Like it's crawlers now, maybe, and bot traffic now. It will be AI agents in 2035. And people will discover your products through non-real persons selling it on Instagram. That was it.